It's always a fun little note. Okay. Let's see. All right. Awesome. Cool. So I think that it's all live now, so I'm just going to go ahead and start this mini workshop. And basically, this is, let me just make sure I pull it up. You can ask questions if you're on Zoom. You can unmute and ask questions in a few minutes after I go over some things. And then if you're in Facebook, you can put your questions in the comments. And I have that pulled up, so I should be able to answer you there. All right, rock and roll time. Let's see. So to start, it's really to think about for cleansing, how do you want to feel and what do you desire? You want to be able to architect your life and create joy and create happiness, feel inspired, feel passionate, like the zest for life, right? And sometimes we forget that that is in our power. We forget that we can do that. We can create the magic in our lives. And one thing that I love about cleansing, I mean, there's so many things, but one of the things is that it's that reminder that I can choose how I feel physically, emotionally, spiritually. I can choose how I feel by my habits, by what I'm eating, by what my environment looks like. And it's a reminder every season of like, oh yeah, that's right. I get to take care of myself. I get to nourish myself. I get to give myself more rest or more space. So whenever I go into a cleanse, I like to think about what are the elements of my life? What are the elements that I want to focus on for this cleanse? So if you think about earth being your body and your emotions and the mental mental processes as water and like depth, like sometimes deep emotional shadow stuff could be water. And then thinking of fire as digestion, but also focus and mental clarity. That's the fire element. So just thinking about, okay, do I want more fire? Do I want more space? Space element is your environment. It's like the mental space and also the space that you live in and how do you feel? How does your space feel? You might notice I have flowers in the background. I feel amazing when I have fresh wildflowers in my house. So I go to the farmer's market, I get flowers because that makes my space feel beautiful. It makes me feel beautiful because I am smelling and seeing like these beautiful flowers, right? Look at this iris. I mean, how beautiful is that? How can that not make me feel like amazing? So that's the space. And then time is a little bit, oh no, you can't see the iris. Let me turn it. Time is a little bit trickier. I like to think of it as air. The air element is orchestrating the wind and your calendar and your time and how you organize setting your goals and hitting your goals. So that's kind of how I think of the wind element. But what do you want to feel? Do you want to feel more confident? Do you want to feel stronger, clearer, more energized, more radiant, vibrant, alive, awakened, nourished, magical? I like feeling magical. Organized, structured, maybe more passion or zest for life. Maybe you want to tap into your creative and energy. You want to feel inspired, renewed, maybe reset with the new season. How do you want to architect and create your life for the cleanse? I mean, this is one of the most amazing things is this opportunity to gift yourself and to reclaim your power. You know, what does it feel like if you own your power? How would you be talking? How would you be eating? How would you be living? Right? So this is an opportunity to step into your power by clearing a little bit of space to nourish yourself. And a cleanse, there's so many things that you can choose for your cleanse. The way that I run cleanses is helping you decide how you want to feel, and then figuring out, well, what do you need to do to feel that way, right? So that's why I was saying all those different words, because I want you to think while I'm speaking, oh yeah, it's energy. I want to feel more energy and more zest and inspiration. Or maybe it's like, no, it's rest and renewal. I just need to stop moving so much. I need more earth energy. I need to feel grounded, and I want my body rhythms to be in sync. You want to clear the energy every day. Every morning, with the sunrise, which is our free anti-depression medicine, right? Watching the sunrise. With the sunrise, you have this renewal. You have this inspiration, creativity, energy. It's like, yes, a new day, a new dawn, a new you, right? And maybe it's just reconnecting with that. That's what you want to feel. So for the cleanse, what you do is decide, how do I want to feel? And then what do I need to do to create that feeling? So if you want to want more energy, or if you want to release excess weight, like you're feeling groggy and lethargic, right? Releasing excess. Do you want to improve your digestion? Digestion in Ayurveda is the root of your health. So if you're feeling, like if you're having gas or feeling bloated or feeling like tired after you eat, that's a digestion thing. If you have a bunch of white crap on your tongue, that's like, all right, you need to start to shift the habits so that you can clear some of that ama, what Ayurveda calls ama. It's like this gunk that gets stuck in the body and blocks your energy channels, right? So we don't want ama. The cleanse is a great opportunity to just focus on, one or two feelings, and then figuring out, okay, what do I need to do to shift that? And for me, when I run a cleanse, I'm empowering you to figure that out for yourself. Like, I'm going to help, of course, but I want you to be able to cleanse with me once and then know, like, okay, I don't necessarily need the group, or I know how to make myself feel better. I know how to get more energy, or I know how to sleep more rested. And the group is really essential because it gives that accountability, right? It forces you to actually stick to the cleanse. And it's okay, if you have a cheat day. Like, it's not the end of the world, because then you observe how you feel and you do better the next day. So for doing a cleanse with me is a very loving and nourishing thing. I'm not like a strict military, like, no, no. It's about being easeful and nourishing yourself, which is just the most lovely approach. So it's great if you're an advanced cleanser, and it's great if you've never done a cleanse. So do you want to sleep better? Do you want to clear your environment? I mean, it's springtime, right? Do you want to declutter and clear? Thinking about that. Do you want to just feel better? Like literally, mentally, emotionally, you just want to feel better. Like, that's it. Do you want to release stuck energy, right? So tapping into this feeling that you want, and relating it to an element, because then you can create what you're going to do. So if you were feeling anxious, and you're like, I need earth energy, I want my body rhythms to be more in sync, and I want to feel not as anxious. I just want to feel more grounded. I don't want my mind shooting everywhere, right? I just want to. Then you want to actually have some earth in your cleanse, whether that's like holding a crystal every day for 3 weeks, like adding earth energy that way, whether it's going out on walks, maybe there's a park you could walk barefoot, maybe not, depends on where you live. But can you add in connecting to the earth? Maybe you hug a tree every day for 3 weeks. That's part of your cleanse. I mean, it's exciting. It's invigorating. Like, whoa, okay, I will connect to the earth, and that will calm my anxiety, right? Will transmute the energy. You can give it back to the earth, that anxious energy, and then nurture your relationship with earth. And that's just an example. If it's fire, like if it's a digestion thing, if that's what you want to focus on, then maybe you want to burn a candle every day in the morning, just as a reminder, like, oh yes, I'm focusing on fire within my belly, my digestive fire, and fire outside, right? And creating this beautiful inner outer relationship with fire. Right? So it's very magical, and it's really not that tricky to do, especially with the group, especially with support, right? So we know that for anything, having a guide and having a group and then having practice, like having the set time, all these things create the magic, right? So I want you to think about that, especially if you're like, okay, I kind of want to cleanse with Neve. I don't really know. Like, think about how you want to feel and what element that would be related to. So it's a good time to cleanse, like for one, period. Ayurveda teaches, and most ancient cultures did a cleanse every spring and fall of some type, right? So that's just something that we've kind of lost in modern society. So it doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter like how healthy you are, how not healthy you are, or what, whatever words you put to yourself, right? It doesn't matter. Everybody needs to cleanse. It would be ideal for you to cleanse, because it helps you live a longer life. Think about it. We live, 80, 90 years, 100 years. Okay, that's a lot of buildup in the body of gunk. So if you give yourself 6 weeks, 3 in the spring, 3 in the fall, that's really not that long, right? It seems long when you first start the cleanse, but it's not that long. And that once you get that first couple days, then you feel what you want to feel, how you've orchestrated it. So it's pretty amazing. So if you're ready to embrace like self-love and healthier routines, or if you've been having low energy, like I said earlier, or gas or bloating or just blah after eating, if you're not sleeping well or feeling rested, if you know you need to make healthier choices and you need support, if you're experiencing like life transitions, I'm studying Vedic astrology right now, and all the planets are about to shift signs to new signs. So like there's a little bit of crazy energy right now. So maybe you just need to process some of the emotions that are arising, or maybe you've experienced some drama in March. Like maybe there were some dramatic things with different relationships and people in your life, and you need to just prioritize you and release those emotions, release that drama. Ayurveda talks about if you get stuck in emotions, that creates the ama, the white, gunky, gray stuff that gets stuck in your body, blocks your energy channels. So we have to digest that. Or maybe you just want to start using a meal plan and really prioritizing like, okay, what I do is planning Sunday fun day. So every Sunday I sit down with my meal plan and I write it out. I don't always follow it, but it helps me stick to what I am orchestrating, right? So that's the beauty of planning. You take a few minutes to plan your future so that when you're in the present moment, you can be in the moment. You don't have to think about it. Like decision fatigue, that could be a focus for the cleanse. Like, I don't want to make as many little micro decisions throughout the day. I want to have some planning and then let the week flow. Oh my gosh, that creates so much space and clarity. Or maybe you do want to release a little bit of weight. That's great. That's a really great thing to do during a cleanse. So I hope that I've kind of touched on maybe some of the things that you want and some of the things that you want to feel, and that you feel empowered to be able to do that. So like I say, I always use a cleansing journal. So that's, I have a course, like a mini course for anyone who's cleansing, and it has different video teachings on things. And like one of the things is having a cleansing journal. So I have a separate notebook and I use it every time I cleanse, because then I can go back and see like, what was my focus last cleanse? What's my focus going to be for this cleanse? How do I feel? And there's a meditation in there to like really help you get clear on how you want to feel and the different parts of your body. And anyway, there's a bunch of stuff there. So get a journal if you're like, okay, I am going to cleanse with Neve. This is good. I can do it. And like, you can't mess it up. Like one of the biggest, there's like so many myths about cleansing. One is that it's hard. One is that you have to do it perfectly. Like one is that you don't feel good. I mean, this is all BS. It's really BS. Like it's your mind being like, I don't want to change. I don't want to do it. I don't want to change. I don't want to have to like put in effort. So the mind is tricky. Okay, and it's only one of the 5 koshas. Okay, so I'm leading a retreat on the 5 koshas in June, right? So all these co-leading, all these different layers of you. You have your physical body, then you have your energy, breath body, then you have your mind, emotional layer, and then you have intuition and bliss. If you're not tapping into your bliss, you need to cleanse, like, because that is your human right, is to feel bliss, and you can do it. Like, it's a really, you can do it. And it doesn't take too much work. Like, that's the thing about cleansing. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to cleanse. Then I have to like give up alcohol. And like our mind just goes straight to like, the ego is like, no, the ego doesn't like change, and it bases all of its thoughts on the past. That is not helpful for evolving. So like the mind is great. I honor my mind. I love my mind. Like, it's helping me right now to speak clearly to you. And it doesn't run everything, because if it ran everything, I would be anxious and like crazy, right? So the mind, the ego is like, I don't want to change. I'm comfortable with what I know in the past. Like, it's comfortable to drink wine every night. That's what I want to do. I don't want to not drink wine. Okay, well, it's an experiment. Like, how can it be fun? How can it be nourishing? Like, how can it be easy? Like, how can you make your cleanse so easy and so easeful? Like, maybe it's a practice of self-forgiveness. Maybe you always drink wine at night, and it's like, okay, if I'm going to cleanse, I want to see. I'm curious. You got to really develop your curiosity. I want to know how it feels to have some of these things that Neve's talking about, like to feel vibrant, to feel alive, to feel awakened, to feel organized, to feel zest, to feel creative again, to feel passion again. Okay? One of the cool things about being a humanoid is that we have passion. Like, and creative power. Our creative power is the coolest. Like, the ability to create. Maybe you haven't drawn in a long time. Like, so it's really beautiful. You just we gotta tap into this. Like, what do I need more of? And that's like where the meditation in the course is helpful. Like, because it's asking these different layers of you, like, what do you need more of? And then when you get into Ayurveda, there's so many secrets and gems that I'll share through the cleanse, and also the other ladies that are cleansing. I also think Ruel might be cleansing, right? So the other people cleansing will share their gems from their past cleanses too, and you'll pick up so many I think there are life hacks. Ayurveda is full of life hacks. Like, how do you hack the bliss, right? So Ayurveda is the sister science of yoga, right? They dance together. You can't really benefit from one without the other, in my opinion. They really, because one is about like, union with the divine, and the other one's like, how do you live that way, right? So yoga means to yoke with the divine. So anyway, little tangent there. But yeah, so if you're like, okay, I'm feeling these things, like, reach out to me. You can message me. I think that the link on my website works. You can just sign up for the cleanse. But what you'll receive is like a document with all of our calls and the login, so that you can go into the course material and start to prepare for the cleanse. This is my favorite time. Like, we're going into this week to prepare. So I like getting ready. I mean, that's one of the reasons I got the flowers. Like, I'm like, okay, beauty. I gotta up my environment space so that I can really orchestrate my routines. So, and there's also, it doesn't have to be a food-focused cleanse. I would encourage something, like I used the wine at night example. That's great, like just giving that up. And maybe you only give it up for 5 days. You don't have to give it up for 3 weeks. You get to decide that, right? And I help you plan that out, but you get to decide that. So baby steps in the direction that you want to go. Like Kaizen is what we call it. Like, it's like the lowest hanging fruit. Like, what is the lowest hanging fruit for you? And it's not a focus on what you want to get rid of or what you want to let go of or release for 3 weeks. It's about, what do you want to add in? How do you want to feel? That's another myth about cleansing. Like, oh, I can't do all these things that I love. Well, you might not actually love them as much. So you got to develop that curiosity and then decide, like, okay, for the 5 days in the middle of the cleanse, those 5 days, I'm going to give up coffee or whatever it is. I'm going to give up processed sugar for those 5 days. No sweets for those 5 days. See how I feel. What I've noticed when I cook all my own meals and I'm like really eating at home all the time is that I have to add salt in my water in the mornings. Otherwise, I don't get enough salt. Fascinating, right? So anyways, I think it's fascinating. But that's the kind of stuff we'll talk about during our cleanse calls. Like when we check in with each other as a group, it'll be like, well, what are you noticing? You know, how's it going? So there's the cleansing group. There's a Facebook group. There's also a private chat that we use to connect daily. Like, oh my gosh, I really want this cookie, but I know I don't want this cookie. Like, what do I do? And we'll say, okay, sweetness, can you mist yourself? Like, can you smell, where is it? What? Oh, my incense is gone. But like, can you add in sweetness some other way to get that sweet hit? Can you eat a sweet potato or a beet or something else that's sweet and figure out how to crave that? Like, so there's the support of the group as far as that goes. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'd love to answer any questions that anyone has. I see there's one person, I think, on Zoom and a couple of you in the Facebook group. So, yeah, if you have, let me just refresh this. Oh, hi, Denise. I didn't like it. Yeah, let's see. Is there any questions? I'm just checking the comments now to see if there's any questions about what I've been sharing as far as it goes. I'll give you a second if you want to type it in the chat, or if you are on Zoom, you can unmute and ask a question. But it's really, how easy can it be? How fun can it be? And what does your life look like when you really own your power? How would you be talking? How would you be living? How would you be eating? Right? So stepping into this next best version of you. Ooh, when does it start? Great question. Thank you. So it starts on April 10th. It starts on this Sunday. So this Sunday we have the Kickoff Call. And what I'm planning on doing is the 10th that week, easing in, then the 17th that week, going deep, and then the last week of April is easing out. So this is how Ayurveda does the cleanse. For anyone that's watching this that isn't into Ayurveda yet, because it's magical and everyone needs to be into it. It'll change your life forever. It's the best, in the best way, help you live a long life. But yeah, so that's the way Ayurveda does it, is you ease in, you do a kind of a going deeper week, and then you ease out. And it's really, I think my first cleanse, I just gave up like coffee during the week of deep. Like it wasn't like a huge life-changing, like horrible thing. I think I gave up chocolate and coffee or something like that, which I can now go back in my cleanse book and check. But yeah, great question, Denise, thanks. Yeah, so nice to see you. Yeah, so it starts on April 10th and goes till like May 1st, technically. Although usually by the last day I'm pretty much eased out. If I'm like, okay, I'm ready to have coffee again or whatever it is. I don't actually drink coffee anymore. That's another cool thing. I do, but not all the time. And that's another cool thing that I've noticed from doing these cleanses every year, spring, fall, is that over time, it's easier to nourish myself. Over time, it's easier to create magic in my life. Over time, the cleanses get easier. And then I can do, like, quote, harder things and go deeper. Like, I did, what did I do recently? I think it was last spring. I went pretty deep for me. But yeah, it's a really beautiful thing. I love cleansing. But yeah, I think there's a group right now. There's, I think 5, 6, maybe 6 or 7 of us that are planning on cleanse, which is the Pure Grace community, my spiritual community. We're planning on cleansing together as a group, and then anyone else, you're invited to join in, and you can experience our awesome, heart-centered, open-minded love energy of the group. So yeah, any other questions? Thank you for motivating me. Sometimes I'm being called to. I'm trying to live more authentically. Beautiful. Yes. I'm also resonating with connection to the elements. Yes, Rachel. All 5 elements? Yeah. So that, I love that about cleansing. I'm going to take a sip of water. Because it's, water. It's the best drink in the world. I'm talking a lot, so maybe one more sip. The elements are great. I mean, I think my first cleanse, I think, was fire and earth. I just focused on those two. This cleanse, I haven't even really sat down and meditated on it yet, what element I want. My fire is pretty good right now. My fire is pretty I'm feeling a lot of passion and focus. So for me, it might be a little bit of water, maybe a little digestion, and probably earth. Earth is always good for me because I love being grounded. So, but yeah, it's connected to how you feel, how you want to feel. So, living authentically, how does that feel for you? Okay, well, you can answer it. My son is home for spring break this week. Another reason why the cleanse is not starting till next week, because Munchkin's here. So, you know. Very cool. Any other closing thoughts or questions? You can always send me a message. You can send me a Facebook message. You can send me an email. If you have any trouble like signing up for the cleanse, please send me an email because I tested it and it worked. But technology sometimes. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's really, it's changed my life. Cleansing is like, bottom line is it's totally changed my life, and I love myself more because of these seasonal cleanse. And because I love myself more, I can step into my power. I can follow my purpose and my dharma. I don't know how without cleansing I would really be able to follow my purpose or my dharma or find what that was and like actually manifest it and cultivate it into reality, because I just wouldn't be taking care of myself much, or I'd be too much in the mental space. So there's so many benefits to cleansing. Let me just check one more time. Is there any other questions? Like I said, you can always send me a message. I hope you feel inspired. I mean, the way I started this, just as a reminder, like, we create how we feel. We create our life, right? We decide how we're going to feel. And like sometimes we get lost in the mind and we don't even realize that we have that power and we give it away. So it's just as I guess a closing thought, like, what does it feel like? What does it feel like? How do you want to feel? What are your desires? And then what does it feel like if you own your power? And the power of, especially right now, the divine feminine, this nourishing, creative, loving, collaborative energy. Collaborative, like, it's time for us to take care of the earth. It's time for us to take care of each other. Like, this divine feminine energy is rising on the planet. And so it's like, for you to step into your divine feminine power, how would you be living? How would you be talking? How would you be eating? Right? And just getting some clarity on that. And then join me on Sunday for the Kickoff Call, which is April 10th. I'm pretty sure that's April 10th. I believe it's at 3 o'clock Pacific time and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that will be when we go over our plans and we'll ask questions like, there's a meal plan. Like, once you purchase it, I'll send you the PDF with everything, like the times and then the login to the course. And once you're in the course, you'll see the meal plans. You can print off 3 of the meal planners, so it's 3 weeks, and start to think about, like, okay, how do I want to do this? How is it fun? How is it easy? And like, what can I do? Like, you don't want to overshoot it, especially if it's your first cleanse. You don't want to like be like, okay, I'm going to give up alcohol, coffee, sugar, no screen time. Like, no. Like, you want to, easy. Make it easy and fun, not too crazy, and not focused on what you're getting rid of. What do you want more of? I want more fire. I want more rest. I want more meditation. I want to work out every day. I want to do my yoga practice every morning. I spin sliding, whatever it is, right? And you can also add in other focuses like decluttering your environment. It's great for the spring, right? You could add, like I said, the meditation focus. Maybe I want to meditate for 3 weeks, just like even 2 minutes, just a 2-minute meditation. What a game changer. I want to focus on the food. Maybe you really do want to focus on eating greens, like right now, spring is about bitters, right? It's about astringent, pungent, like these different tastes that Ayurveda teaches about, right? We want the greens, we want the sprouts, springtime, right? So maybe it's just focusing on that. Or, it could be like digestion. So just making sure you're drinking enough water that you poop every morning. Okay. 101 health tip 101, right? Poop every morning, please. Get rid of yesterday's crap. Like, it sounds basic, but it's so important. Um, or like maybe it is the air element, like creativity, inspiration, mental clarity, right? Maybe your goals have been sliding. Like you're like, okay, it's a new year. I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And then they kind of slid and the focus is like, blah. Well, you can reset that with the cleanse, right? You can look at the calendar and put on your goals and kind of, right? Maybe that's the focus. Or maybe it's a spiritual cleanse. Like maybe you want to do the cleanse of forgiveness for yourself and others. Super amazing for clearing energy. So I hope that was enough stuff to inspire you to join me. It's so fun. I love cleansing, and it's 4 calls total with the group, and then the Facebook group and the group chat and the courses, the mini course for cleansing. All right, my son needs me. I love you all. Send me a message if you have any questions or any trouble, and I'll talk to you soon. All right. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I'm glad I inspired you, Rachel. Thanks for commenting. So cool.